Hey, what's up everybody? I'm back with another day of showing you how I built today's food plan on the app called My Macros app so that I can make sure to hit my calorie goals, my macronutrient goals, my proteins, fats, carbs, all of that. So I'm going to show you how I did it. Do me a favor, if you find this video to be helpful, please hit the like button on it, maybe even to subscribe while you're here. I do these videos every single day. My thought was, if I'm doing these every day, why not record them, post them online? Maybe it'll help somebody else figure out how to do their own. So let's go ahead and take a look at how I built today's food plan. I'm going to get into my Macros Plus app and okay, here we go. So let's start at the top. The first thing I want to look at is how did this day end up looking once I was done with it. And I want to first look where it says 176 kcals remaining, so that's 176 calories under my target. My target right now is 2,700 calories because I am in a cutting phase. I'm actually eating each day in a caloric deficit. So what I want to do is, since my target is 2,700, I want to be a little bit below that. 176 is perfect. I want to be not more than 300 under. So 176 is like right in the middle. I'm happy with where these final numbers laid out. And especially I'm happy with where the actual macronutrients at the top laid out. I want to typically see my carbs and my protein here flip-flopped. I want to be closer on my protein than my carbs or my fat, or carbs or my, But right now the fat was the highest, and that's fine with me. I want to be furthest away from that, typically if I can. And again, I want to be closer on my protein to zero. So this all looks really good. Not perfect, but good enough to do. So I do a 3-step plan every time that I build these. The first step that I do is I make sure to add in my pre and my post-workout meals first. The reason that I do this is twofold. One is it allows me to kind of put my first foot forward, get the ball rolling, so to speak, on getting my plan built. And it's easy because those meals are essentially the same meals for me every single day. So it's always going to be a whey protein drink on each of them. You can see Cocoa Pebbles protein. I've got that on my pre and my post. And then on my post, I've usually got some form of carbs to eat afterwards. And you can see here some gummy bears, 23 grams of carbs for a serving. So real nice. So that's my first step. Second step I do is I ask myself, is there any food that I want or I wanted whenever I woke up today? Is there anything that I'm craving? See, since I'm currently cutting and I'm eating less than I was a few months ago, I'm eating less food, but I don't want to feel like I am depriving myself of food that I want. So cravings for me become important to make sure I'm just keeping my sanity. So I ask myself, is there anything specifically that I want? And if there is, I want to add that in. And today there wasn't anything, just nothing really strikes me. So since there's not, I go to my third step, which is I just start building my meals from beginning of the day to the end of the day. So first, let's look at breakfast, how I built today's breakfast. Breakfast was essentially all protein. I ate 2 cups of liquid egg whites, which is great because it's 0 carbs, 0 fat, really helps get the day started off right. And then I did a cup of bone broth, which is just, I throw it in the microwave, get it kind of warm, and I drink it real quick. It's not delicious. I use the unsalted type, which is even less delicious than regular broth. But 9 grams of protein, 1 gram of carb, a half a gram of fat. Can't hardly beat that. So a nice protein high breakfast there. For lunch, here's what I did here. Went very, very basic and just essentially threw these onto a plate and warmed them up, which was 7 ounces of beef. This was actually a sloppy Joe type of beef that my wife made. Didn't want it to go to waste, so I made sure to use it. Calculated that at about 7 ounces. And then I did a cup of the fat-free Bush's baked beans, which are really good. And because they're fat-free, they're awesome. And in fact, something that's probably worth noting right here at this point, because I had 0 fat on my breakfast, or 0.5 grams, and then I only did 14 grams of fat on my lunch, that means I've only used 14.5 grams of fat at this point, which is nice because I'm only allowed, let's see here, let me see what my total, I'm only allowed 60 total grams throughout the day. So only doing, having less than 15 done by my first and second meal means I don't have to be too restrictive on my fat as the rest of the day kind of goes on. If I use more fat on my breakfast, it would be harder to kind of build my food the rest of the day because fat would be so restricting. So that was my lunch. My dinner, here's what I'm doing. I'm doing a sandwich. This is going to be a toasted sandwich. There's 2 slices of Ezekiel bread. I am doing the sliced deli corned beef. Essentially what I'm doing here is my version of the Reuben. A little bit of low-fat cheese, a little bit of sauerkraut. And then on the side, I'm doing a sweet potato. This is one of those sweet potatoes that you just throw it in the microwave and it's done in like 6 minutes. And then I'm doing a cup of sweet peas. These are just simply sweet peas that I got from a can, nothing too fancy or special, but I really haven't been incorporating too many greens lately, and it sort of hit me yesterday that like, where's the greens? So I'm really trying to work some greens back in. The sweet peas are nice there because 0 fat again, which is nice, 22 grams of carbs, and even a little bit of protein there with this. So I'm really looking forward to getting some of these greens back in there. So a pretty big size dinner, even though it's a sandwich, it's a sweet potato, and it's a cup of sweet peas, it's still only 585 total calories. So after I put all of those in, that left me with rooms for snacks. What am I eating today for snacks? And so what I've done here is some very basic snacks, but a lot of them throughout the day because my other meals were so stinking lean. I did a really good job on making my meals lean today. So for snacks, here's what I've got. I've got 1 hard-boiled egg. I've got a cup of the flavored Greek yogurt, which is nice. I've got 2 slices of Ezekiel bread. This is again going to be toasted, which I am actually going to eat with the Greek yogurt. I just put the Greek yogurt on top of it and eat it on the toast. I got just 20 slices of turkey pepperoni. I just eat it straight. I've got a fourth of a cup of raisins, a fourth of a cup of wasabi peas, a little bit of the dried vegetable fruit thing, kind of hot. I like it. And so you'll see here the last thing I have is simply 16 tablespoons, 16 grams, which equals 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. So basically it's just 1 bite of peanut butter. The reason that that's on there is because my numbers sort of ended up laying out in a strange way where I still had like 225 calories that I could use that were remaining. If I did 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, it would have put me too close to the break-even point. So at some point today, I'll just grab a teaspoon, grab some peanut butter, eat it, and done. So sometimes these plans just work like that. You know, you put your food in there, you try to figure out what's going to work, and it's a puzzle basically. You put some stuff in, you take some stuff out, see where your numbers end up changing, what needs adjusted. Some days you get weird things like I just have to eat a tablespoon of peanut butter to make this work. And if that's the case, that's the case. I love peanut butter, so that works out. So anyways, the day looks good. My overall numbers look good. It's a lot of snacks, which sounds great in theory. We'll see if it actually pans out for me. But anyways, the app that I am using again is called My Macros Plus. It's on all of the app stores. That's how I built today's food plan. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.